Hello everyone, what's up guys? Hello, how's everyone feeling? How's everyone doing the new year? How's the new year going guys? From wherever you are watching, from your locations guys, happy new year to you all. Um, just trying to get some stuff in order, see if the audio is actually working. Let's see if our settings are okay before we can actually go in and start streaming. We're already streaming. Just before we can actually start doing some stuff, yeah, get some stuff working. Make sure we are on the good spot. Already streaming. Okay, right here, today we'll be basically be trying to build some messaging app, secret messaging app. We kind of like how um build an app whereby you can actually chat with someone with a secret message. You can encode. We are going to encrypt the message inside an image. I'm give you guys a spoiler alert, but that's basically what we are going to do. We'll be using web socket for that. So we'll be using WebSocket for the communication between our Flutter app and our back end. So I'm going to show you guys also how to build a back end using that. So basically the whole stuff will be both the front end and back end will be based on Flutter and also on that, which is the programming language for Flutter development. So we'll be tackling a lot of stuff today. I'm trying to see how we can actually communicate with our backend, send a message back to the backend and receive a message from the backend, and also communicate with two different apps and so many other stuff we'll be looking at achieving today. Yeah, so let's see what we'll be doing. So yeah, first of all, we are not going to create all this stuff. I'm just going to pick this section. So this is the section we'll be working on for the messaging, and then we can just build our back end and connect both of them together. So just complete this and then build the back end and connect both of them together. Let's see if we can actually achieve all that within the limited time we have. So first of all, go ahead and create the Flutter app. So just run the Flutter command to create a Flutter app, which is basically Flutter create. What's the name? So call that secret image message. You guys can actually see what we're doing. So I think, yeah, the app is done. So let's go ahead and cd in. So basically cd, there you go, and we're going to open this in our VS Code. This the shortcut to go open your the current directory you are in your VS Code is basically running the command code and dots. You just open the direction inside your VS Code IDE. So here we have our VS Code. Just expand this a bit. We don't need this, so I'll just go ahead and hide it, and then put this by the side right here, and then expand a bit. Yeah, we'll just expand it a bit, and then drag this. Yeah, I think to this point it's good. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look what is within our code base. So this is actually whenever you bootstrap the Flutter app for the first time, it's going to kind of like come with a dummy app, or yeah, a dummy code so on it, so you can actually see what Flutter is all about. And here's our dummy code, and we'll be deleting this. But before we do that, let's try to run the app on or one of the simulator we have right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and select iPhone 14. Just run this. Just close this, and then we can just give it a time to open up. Usually takes within, let's say, 1 to 2 minutes, or mostly 1 minute to open up. But because we are building this for the first time, so it looks like it's going to take like 1 to 2 minutes to actually boot up, so we can actually see what we the first stuff here. Yeah, this go there you go. So this is basically the first dummy app you're going to see whenever you bootstrap your Flutter app. And we're going to go ahead and remove all this to create stuff like this. So let's go ahead and remove the code we don't need. First, I'm going to go into the lib folder, create a new folder. I'm going to call this presentation. Yeah, and inside it is where all our screens will be. And within it, I'm going to create the home screen, home. And within our home screen, we're going to create a file called message, or basically call this chat underscore screen. So call this chat screen dot. So open this, and we're going to bootstrap a stateful widget stf, and we're going to call this chat screen. There you go. Remove this code, basically import material package, and then I have to return a scaffold. Within our scaffold, we're going to have a background color. For now, we're going to say the background color should be basically what's the color for this. I'm gonna get the color. So one way to actually get the color, and basically use one of these, and then put it in here, then tap, then it will just get me the color. Yeah, there you go. Then in here, I'm gonna create a color object, Xcode, and then a double F for full opacity, and I'm gonna pick okay. This didn't copy the color code for loss. Just copy it and go back to our app and paste it right in here. There you go. And after that, I'm gonna say the body should be a stack. Yeah, so we're going to use a stack widget for the full body, because if we take a look, you can actually see that this is kind of looks like a form of a stack. Close. Yeah, because we have this on top of the parent, which is basically what we have here. This will be on top of this, and this will be on top of this also. So that's why I'm using the stack to create that particular layout. Yes, we need to make this to be a constant, and inside our stack you're going to have a children property, and inside the children property, so we want to create something like this. It's going to have a container for the first one. I'm going to say positioned, and use container in here. Right now, let's go ahead and make use of our newly created file, which is our chat screen for this particular screen we have here, and then put it here so I can actually be able to view it in a simulator. And to do that, we need to basically delete all the code we have here. We don't need them. Delete them. And this section, I also don't need this comment, so just delete it. I could just leave this one, and then replace this with the new file we created. Then go ahead and import. Yeah, we just basically import this. Guys, do anyone have a New Year resolution? What's a New Year resolution? And which one have you guys started already? Which of your New Year resolution have you started working on this year, or are you gonna stay waiting? I don't think I have any for the year. I just carry over what most of the stuff I did last year into the new year. Let's call this secret message. Except that one thing is certain, just make money. Yeah, finish some of the stuff I'm doing since last year. Yeah, but I don't think I kind of like made any resolution, something like that. So yeah, we got this showing up on the screen, but we don't want this debug stuff showing up here. Okay, so let's go ahead and remove the debug shake right there. So just say debug shake mode banner and set this to false. That will just remove it from our screen. Yeah, there you go, that goes away. So right now we currently have a base screen for what we are trying to create, so we need to add a stop bar and then this one in here. So to add the top bar, let's see what we need to do. So the top bar we didn't write in here, so we already have positioned container, which we're just gonna leave the same way, and I'm gonna have another, instead of having a position, I'm gonna have align, and in here you're gonna have a child property which is gonna be a container, and yeah, there you go. No, nothing there. And this container is gonna have a width, and I'm gonna use a media query. Basically just want it to take the full available space of the screen. So I'm gonna say media query dot size dot width, and we're gonna give it a height. We could just say the height should be 90.0, and this should be constant. No, okay, shouldn't. It needs us to add a color to it. I'm gonna use a decoration box decoration. Within our box decoration, we could just add a color to it also. And I'm gonna say the colors should be black. We give it a black color and make this to be constant at the moment. There you go. You can actually see that showing up here, but we want it to be at the top right there. Just say alignment dot top center. Yeah, there you go. You can actually see it. That is being positioned at the top, basically the same way this is positioned at the top. So next we have to add some one that is positioned at the bottom right here, like this stuff we have here. So let's add that. And I'm going to copy the same alignment stuff, just make one or two changes to it, paste. Happy New Year, Happy New Year chat. Yeah guys, I'm asking what's you guys' New Year resolution in terms of coding, in terms of learning the new tech, any new tech you want to learn, or any stuff in general, your New Year resolution in general. I don't have any so far. I'm just asking to know what you guys are planning on doing. So I have this alignment, so I'm gonna create this. Just let me the size for this one, just say 40, or just say 30, and then position this at the bottom somewhere here, and that should be bottom center. Save, and you can actually see that showing up here. But that's not all. We still want to remit the width of that, so we could say we have a media query dot of context dot width, dot size dot width, and then multiply this by something like 0.1. Wouldn't that be too much? Okay, let's see. Okay, that's too small. Let's say 0.4. What about 0.8? Okay, I think that's cool. We want it to be not at the bottom right there. We just want it to come up a bit. You can actually see where this one is starting, kind of like the spacing right in there. So we just have to give it that spacing. And how do we do that? How do we give it the spacing like that? I think we just leverage our margin elements. I will just use edge insect dot only, and I will use bottom. Let's say we want also make use of media query dot of context. I just love using media query for position, for actually giving margins, positioning of my widgets, kind of like much easier to work with. I'm gonna say height and multiply this by 0.2, yeah, something there about. So we currently have this. Go ahead and save. Okay, that's too much. You can actually see you push it all the way to the top. That's not what we are looking for. We just want a bit of a space for the bottom. So just need to reduce this a bit. So I will just say 0.04, maybe 5. Yeah, I think that's much better here. Maybe we also increase this height thereabout. Increase the height also. I could actually do that. We could do that. So let's say 40. Yeah, I think that's okay. 40 or 50 should be enough. Yeah, 40-50 should be enough. And now we just want the inner part of it, this section. So we just create a dummy scrollable list in here to actually try to get this particular stuff we have here. So let's see how what that will look like. I'll just open this up. Let's see what we could use. We could use list view in there, and that was basically this section. We could use a list view right in here, or we could use single child scroll view. We could also use a single child scroll view to scroll through any of these that we currently have here. Let's try a single child scroll view for now. And within it, you're gonna have a child, and this is gonna be a column. Within the column, is gonna have a children property. I think this actually makes sense to use a list view. Or just leave it. Let's leave it like this. So we have a single child and we have a column. We are gonna add some stuff, a dummy scrollable element in there, and see what that looks like. I'm gonna copy some code and paste it here. Just basically a dummy container. That's it. 3 of them for now. go ahead and save this, and there you go. That's actually looking good. See how scrollable this is it. So you can actually scroll through it, whereby we are still having this being floating at the top. So this is at the top. You can actually see this one at the top, but you still have this scrolling under it. So that's basically the kind of functionality we are looking for, and we basically created a layout for our whole app, and that's basically the reason why I always go with layouts. Basically create the whole app layouts if it has also responsiveness in on different scripts, can just work on it before adding other details to the app. So yeah, basically kind of like if you're creating a human from a mod, you just basically create a skeleton kind of stuff and then add other details to the human body. So that's basically what you're doing here. Just create the skeleton for the whole app and then add details later on the top. So let's go much further and start getting this to actually look more better. Let's start with the top. I'm gonna start with the top path right there. We need an image. You can actually see a user image right here, and then a name and this stuff. First, we need to download an image. I usually get my image from this website, Shopify Boss website. I get my free messages, my free images from there. Yeah, we just get our free images from here. Let's see this. We could just make use of this one. Go ahead and download any of this resolution. I'll just download the high resolution, download free image. And once the download is done, we need to add it into our app. So before you add any asset or images into your app, you need to create a folder called assets. And inside it, you have to create another folder called images. And inside the images, I'm going to go ahead and drag and drop. I think I also need to create one more, which should be fonts, in case we need to add a custom font to our app, but this too is enough. So inside our images, I'm going to open something up from here. We just drag and drop the image we downloaded. I need to change the name so it is easy for us to actually use. Placeholder. Let's call this placeholder. There you go. Then drag and drop this somewhere here. Leave it, and that's cool. We're already done. So you have the image within our app. So this is one way to add an image into your Flutter project. We are not done yet. The image will not work right now unless we actually fix this part where we are going to tell Flutter to recognize that we actually added an image to our project. So we have this section. You're going to uncomment it and then fix it. So I'm going to say in here, for you to get access to the image, go to a folder called assets. So the folder is called assets. Inside it have a folder called images. So we have assets, images. Then inside it you are going to find another image called placeholder. Yeah, placeholder. I think we got the spelling correct. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, you always have to make sure you got the spelling correct. And also the extension, it should be JPG. Go ahead and save this. Now once you save that, I think we are good to go. Another stuff I usually do just to restart the app. Yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and add the image and see if this works. So this section is the one we are going to add the image in. So have a shot property should be having a row also, because this is in a horizontal row. So I'm going to add a row widget. It's going to have a children, and it's going to have an image.asset. So we use image.asset to get access images in our asset. And I'm going to say assets slash images slash, and our image name is this. I just copy the whole location and just put them right in here, and then we could just say width should be around 30.0, height should be around 30.0, and we actually need to make it to be round. Okay, so let's go ahead and save this. You can actually see the image showing up at the top right there, so it's actually visible. Let's increase it a bit, and then I would prefer to wrap this with a circle avatar. It does not recognize it. Yeah, I think this one. Radius should be 20.0. That didn't work. It didn't get it rounded. There are so many ways to do it. So you can just remove the circle avatar. Then you can actually use script rect. There you go. And go ahead and save. We are going to use border reduce dot Sakura, and then add the radius, which is basically a number, and I'm going to say it should be 20.0. Save, and you can actually see our image is now rounded the way we want it. Okay, let's see. I want this to be a bit from here. We have a spacing by this both side, so let's add the spacing for the both side. That should be having padding. Now, instead of using only, we just make use of symmetric. We just say horizontal should be 10.0. I'll make it around 18.0. There you go. So we want this to be little bit closer here and not far away. Let's say this is having a lot of clipping on it. Let's try something else. We could just wrap it with a container. See if that fixes the issue. Just say container shade becomes this, and then just have decoration. I'm using box decoration. That's another way to actually add those radius that we want. I'm gonna say border reduce, and we have border reduce dot sakura, and set this to be around 40.0. Go ahead and save. Let's use fix on it, see if that is gonna fix it. So use fix box. So we fix stuff we use, they don't work on it. So let's try okay, looks like we're going to revert back to the previous one we used. Let's continue with this for now. And I'm gonna go ahead and reduce the size a bit, so just set this to 50, set this to 50, and we have that at the top, and we just want to bring it down also. Say we have this. Nope, not what we want. Should be from start, and then we have the cross axis. Yeah, so the cross axis starts from here, or we could just set it to start at the center, which is basically the default. Yeah, but nope, start at the end. There you go. And also want to give a space, a bit of a space, like what we currently have here. We have the spacing, so add that. We need to increase this to 100, and then we could just say padding. So this should be vertical. Make it like 10.0. Yeah, so you have that small spacing at the bottom. I'll just increase this a bit also. make it 15. Yeah, we added that equal spacing that we have here at the bottom, kind of like, yeah, similar to this. And now we need to add a letter by the side of the image, and then add the rest of the designs and stuff we have right there. And yeah, I'll just go ahead and say, so we have this project, and this should have a text, should be a text widget, and this should have a dummy data. We could just call this root say hue. There you go. And this should be constant. I'll have a style, use a test style, save this for now. Yeah, let's give it this color and see what we come up with. So just leave it this way, save. Okay, there we go. Not bad, not that bad. We need to add alignment, testing line. Just use testing line, see if that works. Mostly that doesn't work. Center, okay, not really good. One easy fix, you can actually use alignment, see if that works. There are so many other options you can use. You could use transform on it. Just say alignment and alignment dot center. There you go. You can actually see this spin at the top. Still not okay. The place we want it to be. We just need to reduce this to 30, somewhere around, say 20. Okay, that's too small. 40 by 40. Okay, we leave it that way. We need to bring this down a bit. So yeah, we could leverage by saying this on x-axis starts from 0.0, on y-axis starts from 0.0. Let's see where that is at the moment. And this, yeah, that's too much, so just say 0.2. Yeah, somewhere in the middle right there. And this, let's try 1, try 5. Or we can actually use padding to push it up and down. You can use padding, you can use alignment, you can use transform widget. There are so many stuff you can use to get to align your widgets anywhere, or position it wherever you want. So we just added this. We'll just wrap this with a padding to just use it to get whatever we want. And I will just wrap it with a padding. Yeah, wrap with a padding widget. And this will be padding dot only. For now, we are targeting the left hand side. I will just say the left will be 10.0. I can actually see the spacing between this and this showing up. There you go. And the text should be white and not amber, so just change the color to white. That still looks nice. And increase this to a bit of 14 pixels. There you go. And now we need to add a section. This bordered test, and there you go. Let's see this. I'll just make a duplicate of this. Yeah, make a duplicate of that. And somewhere here, or we could just forget about it and just recreate this by ourselves. So I'm going to say add a container. The container is going to have a child property, which should be a test. Yeah, there you go. They should have a decoration, and they should have a box decoration, and within it you should have a color which is the same color as the main background, and there you go. And it makes sense to actually move this out of here and move it into a separate folder, which I'm going to name the folder to be core folder. And within it I'm going to have something called custom colors. That, and here just create a class to export all this. Call this to be brand colors. It should be brand colors dot, and there you go. And it should be static constant k main brand color, which is equals to this color that we created right there, and it should be constant. Am I on the right track? Okay, we just need to import material widget. Should be able to fix that. Yeah, there you go. Now we can just make use of this wherever we are, wherever we want in our app. That we do away with this. So we have one place to actually change the whole colors if you want. That's good. One good reason of moving it out to a separate class or folder. Yeah, there you go. We have the custom colors that we wanted, and if you save this, the colors still applies. There's no different, there's no changes. And we want to use this color for something here also. This becomes a color, add a constant to it. There you go. And this should say agree to offer. Okay, see, agree to offer. You can actually see that showing up here. You just need to add a padding inside this. Say padding edge insects dot only, just say symmetric, and horizontal should be around 10.0, and vertical should be around 10.0, and we have to make this to be constant also. After getting that to be a constant, which is, there you go, and I have to add a border radius to it. Let's say border radius dot circular. Yeah, there you go. I'll set this to be 20. Maybe 20 is too much. Yeah, you can actually see this is rounded the same way this is rounded. That's cool. We are getting the same effect on both. The only thing we need to reduce the text a bit smaller. I will change the font size. I will say this should be 10.0. Save, and that kind of like a little bit smaller. I'll just leave that 11, and then increase this a bit. Both the left and the top and then the top, just say this should be 14. Okay, there you go. See that there. We need to push it to the end also, then add these two icons by the side right somewhere here. One of the icon that we need to add should be the icon. Yeah, so add icon bookmark to it. Bookmark outlined. Let's change the color of our icon. Should be white. Now it's visible, and add one more. So this should be kind of like a telephone, yeah. Yeah, let's add a phone there. And there we got ourselves a phone icon at the top. Next I need to add a spacing using spacer. There you go. And we need to bring these icons up all the way to actually be on the same line with what we currently have right here. Yeah, on the same line with this. Let's try with alignment. And yeah, alignment. Okay, that's too much that we added. try this. Okay, I guess we got it, and do the same for the second icon also. You can actually see both of them at the top here. I think that's cool. There's no other changes except that we need to give both of them a spacing, a big spacing between each of them. So we should start from this section. After this, we should have a custom, something called size box, and I would say the width should be around 10.0, thereabouts. Save that. You can actually see that spacing right there, or maybe say around 18. Yeah, and do the same somewhere right here also. There you go, except that we need to reduce this to 10 and reduce this to 10. That's much better. Let's see what else we can actually add. We need to work on this section, the test input section. So let's get on board. So we need a rounded test input field, right? What we have here, and the rounded test input field with some icons overlaid at the top of it. Okay. Yeah, I think overlaid on top of it, not side by side, because I think you can actually type something all the way to the end, or maybe you could actually type all the way to this point and you just stop typing. That's what I'm thinking, but let's see that. Let's actually see how to get that to work. And I'm gonna copy some code over for that to speed up our development. So I'm just copy a code, the code we are going to use to add the input field right in here, just so actually it resemble the same input field we have here. Yeah, this section. To uncomment the code out, which I just copied this from a previous project we worked on. You could remember the fake donor app we worked on, basically the to-do app we worked on. That's where I copied the code from. And I need to remove this. We don't need this animated builder. We definitely don't need it, so should be able to remove that. I can't even remove it, so why is that so? If that's the case, I'll just copy this one out all the way to this point, and then delete the rest of the code that we don't need, and then paste this back. Yeah, I think that's much better. And then this, remove also this section. Go ahead and remove this. And this also, we could go ahead and remove it also if you want, or we just keep it at the moment. I think it actually makes sense to go ahead and let's keep it. I'm gonna use icons. Yeah, there you go. I'm basically removing some stuff we don't need at the moment until we need it. Then we're going to add it back. So I'm going to remove the container widget we added here. We don't need that. Go ahead and save. Let's add a border, the rounded border around it, border reduce, I mean to say. That should be inside our decoration property. Add the border radius this way. Shouldn't be constant. Nice one. You can actually see this is now rounded. The same way this stuff right here is actually rounded also. So you have the rounded border radius around this, and if you type, you can actually see this being brought up. And you can dismiss, tap outside to dismiss, and we haven't added that yet. I'll go ahead, we should just go ahead and add the functionality to tap outside and dismiss that particular pop-up. We definitely don't need it right there to be sticky. We just want to be able to actually move it later on. And I'm going to copy a code that will help us achieve that. We don't need to write this again. Most of you who have been watching my Flutter project would have known how to actually do this, but I'm still going to explain the code a bit. That's not an issue, guys. Just keep calm. I'm just going to explain it a bit. Call this to be helpers dot not this. There's no extension for that. It should be that. Yeah, and then paste this in here. So this is the code I'm talking about. Import material, then copy this code, hide keyboard, go to share screen, go ahead at the top, wrap the scaffold with a gesture detector, and we have on tap I'll basically call this import, then passing a context that has been needed. There you go. Nice one. You can actually see that effect working right now. So if you tap, it goes up, tap outside, it comes down, tap, it goes up to allow us to type in here. But if you tap outside, that goes off. So that's the functionality we are looking at. Next one we can actually do is to find a way to add these icons around it. So let's go ahead and see if we can actually do that without breaking any stuff. So right in here where we have this surface icon, we added a button icon in there. I'm gonna change the icon color to white to at least to see, we're gonna see the icon, this one. We want multiple icons to be there, so I'm gonna wrap this with a row widget. Let's add more of this and see if that still works. And that's a lot. push it to the end, and this should have a bit of a space, not 20 pixels. Okay, that's too small. Let's leave it at 20 sharp. And I'm gonna remove the icon button from it. Yeah, there you go. Also do the same right here. Basically remove this. And save. So we have these two icons over here. We have to make it 3, so remaining one of these with a send icon on it. So we need to add that. Let's see how we can actually do this. Okay, so if you take a look at that, you actually see that is actually a container. So it's gonna be a container widget, and this container widget is gonna have a child widget, and a child widget is gonna be an icon. But in this case right now we have to add an icon into our app that we can actually use. We need to install an icon package called Ionic Icons. You can just take a look at what this looks like. Ionic Flutter. Yeah, so this is the package. Just install this so you can make use of Ionic Icons using this particular package. So I'll just go in here inside the terminal and just run Flutter pub. I don't even know how I actually remember the command to type. Looks like I've already clamped the whole Flutter command. So we already added the package that we need. So I'm gonna say this is gonna have an icon, and this is gonna be Ionic icon, and this we have something called decoration box decoration with color. For now, just give it a random color starts amber for now. This shouldn't be constant, except these ones should be made constant. There you go. Go ahead and save. Let's see if okay. There you go. You can actually see that showing up right in here. Let's add a padding at the right hand side. Just say this should be 14.0. Save. Okay, that's not working. The padding we added is not working, but we can actually go ahead and try adding a size the box right in here. Make this to be constant. You should be using width and just say 10.0. Yeah, so you have a spacing, some kind of a spacing, the same amount of spacing we have right here. Just add that also right here. I think that works. And we need to find this particular icon and see if we can actually find one using Ionic icons. Yeah, we found it. So it's called send icon. So you can actually see the icon showing up there. Size, so that the size should be 14.0. About 15. This should have a padding. They make this to be constant. Okay, that's too much. There you go. Now once we got that, we need to actually run this a bit, rounded border. We could just go ahead and neutralize, border reduce. Yeah, I can actually see the rounded. It's not kind of like it rounded right now. The icons, let's try reducing this a bit to 8, maybe 9, and then rotate the icon. The icon, we need to rotate it a bit. And we're going to just make use of transform for that. Transform dot rotate. Yeah, I think this way, maybe 5.8. Yeah, I think this is okay. Yeah, rotate it actually to fix this section. Yeah, should I see facing the same section? Yeah, maybe reduce the size a bit to something like 13. Then let's change the color. The color we are going to add it here should be the same icon color. So I'll just say static constant. Okay, icon color. So we got our icon color, so we just need to use it in here. Basically that should be the background color for this. That's cool. That's much better. So yeah, we added the icons that we want, and this has to be a spacing between them. This icon should be, what's it called again? Emoji. Yeah, smile. There's no icon that's called smile here. So trying to see an emoji that will fit in to what we need. Yeah, we can just make use of this. Save that. That becomes the emoji we have here, the icon there. The last one but not the least is basically a send icon, or basically we call it attachment. There you go. And last but not least, just add a spacing among them. Just use width and try something like 8.0. Come on. And do the same right in here. Finally, we got the input field working, and we got it done with. So you can actually see it is the same stuff that we currently have right in here. Then you can just type in there and just change the cursor color. Let's change the cursor color. Okay, we created a new color that we can actually use, so we just use that in here as our cursor color. Now you see that our cursor changes color, so this is now the new color for our cursor, and you can just type in. Just toggle this back on. Okay, let's start our app. So nothing is actually showing up. Let's see why that's happening. So we just want to add a color for whenever someone is typing something. We just want to see it visible. It's not a field color, it's not an icon, color focus, color none. And just looking at how we actually go have a way to fix this to add a color to our input field. For some reason I can't even remember how to do that. Let's take a look over here into our Flutter documentation. I will say Flutter text form field. Okay, it has a property called style. I think that's what we missed. Okay, I see that. So it should be style. Then we use test style on it. Within here, we just set the color to whatever we want. So we want the colors to be white. Colors.white. There you go. Probably should be constant also. Nice one. So we are able to type and see what we are typing while doing so. And then we can also enable our icons. Okay, there we got that. Okay, we add 80. Okay, that's too small. Let's try 90 pixels. 195. Okay, I think we're good to go. So go ahead and restart this. And open this up. And then go ahead and type whatever you want in there. Yeah, that's cool. And once you're done, tap outside, that comes down. So yeah, we are done with the header and also the input field. We just completed both of them right now. The next stuff we can just work on is basically work on adding a dummy chart at the moment. Yeah, these dummy charts that we are currently having right in here, so just go ahead and add them at the moment. So just one or two. Yeah, I'll add a size box in here. I'm gonna say height, mediocrity, dot size dot height, multiply this by 0.1. Okay, that's too much. Just let's try 1 5 1 6 1 4 1 3. Okay, I think that's okay. And then we could just reduce the height to 30 thereabout, and then add a child property here, which is going to be a test. And this is basically our test. The same way we have this test right there. And we're going to reduce the width. It shouldn't be full width, but basically the available test width, not a full width. If you save that, and you can actually see the width is now limited to the available text in it. Basically need to add a padding widget here, and I'm going to use edge insects for that. Basically you guys already know what edge insect is all about. Basically to add a padding or margin to containers and widget right now. I'm going to say edge insects dot symmetric, and we have horizontal. Just say horizontal should be 10. I'll have vertical should be 10.0. This should be overall a constant. There you go. Nice. Am I missing any stuff? Remove the height property. We don't need that. Yeah, that's more better. Then we can just add decoration. Make use of box decoration. Add a color and add a border reduce. Border reduced or circular, and we could just say that this should be 10.0. You can actually see that this is the border reduced that we currently have around here. If you take a look, you see that the border radius is not everywhere. This page shouldn't have a border radius, so we have to remove this and say border radius dot only. Then we target top left, not top left. So top left will not have a border radius, but top right should have. That should be radius dot circular. 10.0. Yeah, okay. Top left. And also we have, like I say, top left we not have, so that should be top right. Yeah, trying to make sure that this is actually correct. We should have bottom left, should have bottom right, same. I think that's all we need. If you save that, yeah, there you go. You can actually see, except this end doesn't have anything at all, but other ones have. Next stuff we could do is to add a padding around here. We could just say from the left, or think we are good. Save. Yeah, same spacing that we have here at the left, same spacing should be applied at the right hand side also, and you can actually see how this looks like. Let's see what else we could do. Okay, we need to change the color also. There you go. And the text color, which we need to change, color should be colors dots, basically colors dots white. Go ahead and save that. You can actually see the changes being applied right in here. Next, increase the padding a bit. So padding horizontal should be around 15, or let's say around 18. Vertical should be around 14. There you go. I think that's much better. Yep. And this itself should be alignment. Change the alignment, and then use the alignment block T. There you go. Yeah. So with the alignment, we can just position it wherever we want on the screen. So let's say I'm the one that sent the message. Mine should be somewhere. Okay, yeah. If I'm the one that sent the message, it should be somewhere. Okay, at the left. If someone sends a message, it should be at the right. So there you go. So if I'm the one that sent the message, this should be top left. So that means position this place. But if someone sends, it should be top right, so you position yourself to this section. Yeah, that's much better. And if someone send, that means the mouse should be pointed down here. That means this shouldn't be at the top, it should be somewhere here. So those are also what we have to take accountable for. We are going to see how to actually work on that later once we start building the back end for this. But for now, I think we just built the dummy part of this, and we could just go ahead and start working on the back end. This is enough so far. The screen is actually ready. We just need to start adding the back end to the app. And let's see, put this side by side and see what we have here. So yeah, that's cool. You can actually see the same design for the top. We have the center where we'll be adding our messages, and have this path also right here for typing our messages, and then this for sending our message. I don't think if there's something else we need to change. Yeah, let's go ahead and start doing this. So let's add the back end. Let's see. Oh, we just first of all, let's add a dummy messages first before we start adding the back end. And let's see what this should look like. For now, I'm gonna create a dummy list here. I'm gonna call this list of type string, not well, of type map. Map should be dynamic. It should be string and dynamic. So I have string, comma, dynamic type. This should be called messages. That should be equals an empty array. Map of type, basically map represents JSON kind of type. Yeah, and in here I'm gonna say ID. ID is 1. is me. Basically, if I'm the one that sent it, it's me. For this should be true, and this should be a string to start with, and also this should be a string to start with, and this should have what we call message type. Message type, either a text or image. So in this case, it's a text, and this should be a string, and this should be a string. What else are we missing? So we have a message type is me. Okay, I think that's it for now. Okay, the message itself. So we have message. What was the message? In this case, is actually a text. The text that says hello friends. Hello friends, yeah, with a question mark. And now we need to add this a couple of times and just make some changes to it. And this, just change the IDs. So I'm gonna say ID is 2, ID is 3, ID is 4, ID is 5, ID is 6, and is me. For this should be false. That means it's not actually me. And this true next should be false also. This true next should be false. Kind of like makes it looks like someone is sending a message and we are actually interacting with someone. So I'm gonna map this to our screen right here, but before we do that, we need to do some stuff. I'm gonna copy this and move it out of the screen, and we need to make this to be a reusable widget. Yeah, a reusable widget. Like I said, we need to move it or just leave it this way, and this is an easy way to move it. Just put your cursor on the top, tap here, and then extract as a widget, and this should be called chat bubble. Yeah, just create a chat bubble for us. Just trying to make that a constant also. But currently right now we're going to have one single chat bubble, and our chat bubble should have a way to actually change the text itself. Have some property in here. I'm going to call this final final string. Should be called message. Final is me, which is of type boolean. One last stuff. Final. Do I need the last one? Just leave it this way, and we just add it here. And we just go ahead and save. Now it's gonna tell us that there's an issue that we need to fix on one or two stuff. We already know. Yeah, it's requesting us to pass some parameters to it, and I'm gonna copy this whole stuff. And what we are going to do is something like this. Messages dot map dot to list one, two, three. And this shouldn't be a constant, not widget, but this should be messages. The E for any element in there, I'm gonna say E dot. It doesn't have a type, so just access it as the way you can actually access a JSON object. So this I'm gonna say where Okay, before we actually try to do that, first of all, this should have message part. So where property is message, pass it in there. And then the next one is me, where the where property is basically is me. And then go ahead and save this. You can actually see what this looks like. It's actually stacked in one single line. So let's make some changes to it. First of all, it needs to have a margin. I'm gonna use age sex dot only. We need to say bottom should be 20.0. Make this to be constant. We should be able to fix it. Now we need to position this either at the left or at the right, and that will depends on is me. So I'm gonna say if is me is true, the alignment dot is top left, else it should be top right. So if you save this, now you see the positioning now is actually taking shape. So this is position at this end and this is position at this end. So basically the messages I sent should be at this end, the messages I didn't send should be at this end, and this pointing out here should be reverse. So if I sent the message, it should be pointing at the top. If I didn't, it should be pointing down below. So to fix that, that's basically right in here. So I'm going to say if top right, basically top left. Start with top left. If I actually sent a message, if it's me is true, then that should be 0.0, else that should be like this. And definitely do not need to make this okay. Constant, and this will not be constant also. Then if this is me, if it's me is true, go ahead and keep it at 10, else go ahead and keep it at 0.0, and we should be able to see the changes taking effect right away. Yeah, that's cool. If you take a look closer, you can actually see the whole thing changed. So if it's me, it's pointing at the top right here. If it's not me, it's pointing down below here. So meaning that I'm not the one that sent the message. So yeah, we got it correct this time around. I don't think there's any other stuff we need to do, except we just need to hook it up to the back end. Yeah, we just need to add it to the back end, and then have a way to send a message between two phones. So I will just be using one of these phones to reply, and just be using one of these to actually send the message back and forth. Let's see if we can actually be able to do that before what's okay. This is almost an hour plus. I don't think is there any other stuff we need to fix. Okay, let's go ahead and do this. For the back end, we need to create a new file, a new filter file here, a dart file in this case. Cd out. In here I'm gonna say dart create. That creates secret underscore message server, and that should start creating our server for us and once our back end. And once that is done, I'm gonna copy this, cd in, and then open this up. Yeah, so we have two of them opened up at the moment. There we go. So this for our server and this for our front end. So once you open a Dart project, so let me explain the difference between this and this. So this right here is actually, it's called Flutter itself, which is a combination of a Dart programming language and a framework for building front end for different operating systems and those stuff. Yeah, all together we call them they call it Flutter. Then this right here is Dart itself, Dart, which is the programming language that powers Flutter, and also you can actually use Dart itself to build a website without using Flutter. That's actually possible. Not something you cannot do, is something you can actually do. We will do that later on. And I'm going to I'm going to show you guys that how to do it here. Don't worry, we are going to do it here too. But you can use that on its own to build a website without using Flutter. But it's much easier to use Flutter to build it than just using that for it. With that, you can use HTML directly. So that's the beauty of it. So HTML and that combination of HTML and that, you can build some good website, which will be kind of like a server-served website. Yeah. So the server will be serving the front end depending on the endpoint the user hits at the moment, and it's actually pure HTML. But with Flutter, it will be with kind of like Flutter syntax, like what we are seeing here to build stuff. But yeah, we are going to see how that works. So this is the entry point, and this not the entry point. This is basically the leaf, the entry point inside the bin. So the bin folder is our entry point, and you can actually see the main function, which the same main function you can actually see here. It's still the same thing here, the same main function right in here, except there's this function called run app. This is a function itself by Flutter. You can actually, that runs kind of like the app, your whole app inside the main function, but the main function is the entry point, the same we have here. And this, we are not going to go into this. This is called argument, for basically passing argument from terminal and other stuff. You can get that from here. What else are we missing? I don't think there's any other stuff, except we just have to start digging in, kind of start coding up some server here. Okay, so right in here we have something called secret message server.dat. I'm gonna go ahead and remove all the code we have here. We don't need it. Just highlight, delete every single thing. We got that deleted. And yeah, I wanted to show you guys kind of like how to build a server without because the server we are going to be building right now, we are going to be using a package called chef in Flutter. Is actually a package as you can actually use, you can leverage or use to build a backend easy and faster than going just building the stuff on your own by from the start. It will kind of like a bit harder, but with Chef it's kind of like easy to build it. Let's see. Yeah, so this is actually the Chef package I'm talking about. So with this installed inside your Dart project, you can just use it to build a backend and some other stuff. Also, we can actually build a backend without using the but in our own project. In this project, we're going to use it to build our backend, but I'll actually show you another way to build a backend without using it, which I said that is actually kind of like a bit difficult, the most difficult one to do. But let's go ahead and actually do that. So we're gonna have a function right in here. I'm gonna call this function to be of type future. I'm gonna use HTTP server. We're gonna say create server, which is basically an asynchronous function. And this, let's import some stuff, that.io, which is basically stand for input output. And in here we're going to say final address. And the funny thing is that in every programming language you are going to have this kind of like import statement, or yeah, that's for input, for working with input output in every programming language. C++ have it, Java has it also. Major programming language like Rust have it, because currently I'm actually dabbling in the world of Rust programming language, and I find it actually good and fun to work with. Yeah, you can actually try it if you haven't. You can use it, or you can just learn Go. So Go programming language, or you can just learn Rust programming language, anyone you want. But I think both of them is actually very, very good to actually try out. So I have something called internet address dot loop back IP4, and you can actually find this same stuff. Example I'm giving you guys in Flutter community project in their GitHub repo. So I'm just trying to show you guys how to actually do it, but you can actually find the same code in there. And we need to create a port. Our port should be 4040. Call that port is equals to 4040. Close that off, and this should return await start HTTP server dot bind. We have address and ports that we just created right in there to create our server, and we could just take this to a test drive. But before we do that, okay, let's try that. And this has to be inside our main function right in here. And we're gonna say final server, let me see, we should be wait, there you go, secret message server dot create server, and this should be asynchronous. Mark it to be synchronous, and whatever is being returned, console log our server for loss. We actually need you to console log the server. That's what we are saying here. I'm using console log from JavaScript. Is basically print is this to us. Yeah. If you go ahead and run this app, so there's ways to do this. I'm gonna show you the two ways to actually okay, this is one way to do it, the way we did it right now, but that's not the one I wanted to start with. But yeah, we got it. We started with that one, and you just console logging out our server. I'm gonna server.address, get the address, so you can actually see the local host address. Yes, save that. We might need to restart, and there you go. You can actually see internet address. This is the address where the server is actually running on, and its type is IP4, IP version 4. And what else are we missing? So like I said, there's 3 ways. Currently I know of 3 ways to actually start a server in your VS Code use for that. So going from here is one way to run it, run without debugging or start debugging. Those are 2. already not one, but I just said it's one, but you can actually say it's one or two. Next one is just to type in here that run. When you hit the command, and it will just start the server. Also, there's another way to do it, and you can actually see the server is running. And I'm going to go ahead and close this off. And the fourth one is basically tapping over here, run. We start running the server, and you can actually see that console log that here that the server is running. But let's test that out. So I will go in here, copy this address that we currently have, put it right in here with our port, which is 4040, right? Yeah, there you go. It's actually running. Yeah, but it couldn't return any other stuff. It will kind of like be on this loop, but we are going to return some stuff on it. So let's go back and start working on some stuff. If you want to print out a port that we are using, we can actually print out a port this way. I will say port, and then server dot port. I figure out and restart. There you go. You can see the port is 4040, and this is our address. I think be good. Next stuff is to create some stuff. A dummy HTTP request and handling with over here. So create server at the top. So at the bottom here, I'm gonna create a future. Yeah, it's a future of type just void handle request of type HTTP server. Mark this function to be asynchronous. I'm gonna say I'll wait for HTTP server request. The request that is coming in from server, and we're going to say use a switch statement in here. Switch case just to build it out for us. The first expression is basically the requests, and from here we could just get the address, but we don't need that. The internet address autocomplete. We are just looking for the method, the request, or we are just using a type of server. This should be HTTP request dots. Okay, we have the certificate. If you want to do some, maybe also the cookies, the header. If you want to do some security handling, authentication stuff, we get a cookies, headers, method. We're going to just use method for just routing the request that the user is sending. But I'm just trying to show you guys what you can actually see: the URL, the session, also response requested, protocol version, so many stuff. And but in our own case, we just want to target the method, the request method. And if the request method is get, if it's a get request, we want to have a function called handle get. And we need to pass a request in there, and we need to create this function. I'll just copy the function over So we can actually try it out. And in here, so we want to send back a message to the user. I will just say message test here. Go ahead and save. Also have if the request is a post request, we have a function to handle that case also. Just add break statement right in there, and now we copy the code for that. And this for handling our HTTP handling post request, and this for default request. Any other request that comes in that is not handled here, we just handle it with this default function, passing a request to it and close it off. And then for the handle post request, for post, I'm gonna create something that's basically gonna say there you go. Capital by closing it right there. UTF-8, yeah, from that convert, save. We will need to go over here and add most of this. So I'm gonna say after this is being called, and I want to do something like await secret server dot handle request, and we need to pass in a server to it, a type server. Then we need to save and restart our app. Nice. And go back to our browser with these two URLs. Copy that again. /4040, enter. Okay, we can use a postman for testing this, postwoman or postman, anyone, and that has moved to be called hipposcosh. We are going to do, can we actually use a local host testing right here? Okay, let's say we did a get request, send. Postman. We could try postman and see if that works for us. that's not important. I just trying to test some stuff out. That's why I just added that right there. So it still has 27.127.0.0. This is not HTTPS, this is actually HTTP, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so we have our postman. Okay, let's try this. Send a GET request. I think I actually do this on my VS Code. I think I have an extension, yeah, called Thunder Client. Yep. See if you can actually achieve the same stuff by using this extension. Okay, the request is not going through. Let's close this. Okay, we're still having issues trying to connect, but I think we are trying to break through so far. Come on. I know the connection is not secure, but just it's originating from my origin, so just allow me to do it. I don't know why it's kind of blocking it off. Let's see if we can actually try that with our Chrome browser. Let's see if it works on Chrome. Okay, come on. Yeah, okay, that works right now. So I'm using the localhost extension instead of using the host, the IP host that has been given to us, which is in the number form. So I switched that to the localhost test, and then we run this again in with port 4040. You can actually see that the server is now returning some information back to us. That basically saying that it's working. So yeah, you can actually see get request. If you take a look right here, you can actually see our get request has to return a message. So we write a message to the user, and then we close the request. We just close this HTTP request after sending the message, which is message test here. Let's try and do a post request. I'm gonna change all this into this. Let's run the get request to and see if it works here. Okay, now it's working. So basically, because we switched the localhost, and that's actually the reason why it's working. So let's try a post request. With a post request in here with a message. So request. I'm gonna say MSG. The value is going to be here we go. If you go ahead and send that, and it says yeah, we got it, thanks, because we sent a post request and you kind of like got. But let's see if I actually have access to what we just sent to it. So if I send back a get request, So it's still saying message test here. That's because we are not using the string right in here. So I'm gonna have to restart the app and try to send a get request, so it returns hello or from known server. Now let's try a post request again, now with appended messages and other stuff. So send, it says post request, we got it, thanks. Let's try a get request. Nothing has been returned. Looks like this request here, request dot. Okay, yeah, that's it so far. So we just created a server from scratch by using the Dart inputs outputs resources that's been given to us, and we're able to create a server from scratch without using any packages, outside packages, to help us to get it done. But in the next one we'll be doing, so we'll be changing this to actually make use of Chef. Like I said, we'll be using Chef to create our main server for the app that we want to work on. So that's the next stuff we'll be doing right now. Yeah, we're trying to try the post request again. So send, yeah, we got it. Try the get request this time around again. Hello from here. Yeah, we can just send a message and receive it back. So try the post request with a different stuff. So this is dev from here. If you send that, the server got it, and now let's get it back again from the server, and the server returns it back to us. This is considered from here, so that's cool, that's much better. And we are able to test both our post request and our get request. Let's try another request. Let's try something like case put. Let's try put request. For that, I'm going to create a function. I'll call this handle put request. And then once everything is done, go ahead and break out. This handle put request, we just need to create it here. Call it handle put. Sends back the request, and what we need to do, stay appended to my string, and then just say plus equals to, will that do the appending for us, or just break our code? Then let's restart our app and try our put request. Okay, back to our postman. With here we can actually try, first of all, try a get request. Get request returns this. Now let's try a post request. So again, got it, thanks. Try a get request to see the new stuff, and yeah, that's cool. You can actually see this and this matches together. Now let's try a put request. This is considered from here to again now live, then send. Okay, nothing broke. Okay, from here now live. Now let's try a get request, and that's cool. You can actually see that it returned the whole messages that we have been concatenated. You can actually see that we concatenate every message that has been sent to put request. We concatenate it with the message that exists inside this my string storage, and then return it back to the user when the user does a get request. So that's cool, that's working. That's what we're having, the same repeated sentences all over everywhere. So yeah, that's good that we got to some points. But right now we want to be able to hook this up with our app and be able to send message and receive message from the back end. And we could start with that from basically, and I'm not going to use this server anymore. I'm going to create a new one. Yeah, I'm going to call this file secret message main underscore server dot that. And the first thing we want to do, okay, this one is still running. We're still gonna stop it from running and just continue with what we are doing. I'm probably going to copy some code over so to actually help us do some stuff. But before we do it, let's do some installations. We need to install some packages like chef, like I told you guys. Flutter pub add, we add chef. We add chef router. We add chef static. We're gonna add chef WebSocket. Last, we need something called WebSocket channel. Then hit, and not Flutter, but that's pub add. Yeah, that pub add, all this stuff. You can actually see that this is being installed within the app. And if you go over here, you can see this installed pub specs. There you go. You can see everything that's been installed within our app. We can just make use of. Go to secret message main server, and we just copy and paste some stuff. And I'm going to explain it as we go forward. And this wash is basically a stopwatch. So let's fix all these issues, errors we have. Wash, which is equals to stop wash. Cap that off to close it. Then we need to import most of these. Import that IO, cascade, import this from chef itself. What else do we need an import from? Chef.io. We import that. And that will fix this. And next we need to create a static handler, router, and WebSocket handler. Basically with Cascade you can be able to forward any request, that's incoming requests, to any of these handlers to handle them. Yeah, so that's what we are. I'm gonna explain it more, but basically that's what this is all about. And in here I'm gonna copy a code for our router. And first of all, let's start with our static handler. There you go. Chef.static, we need to import that. And next we need to add my WebSocket handler. We'll be stopping here after setting this up. Tomorrow we are going to continue to build out the main part, but for now we just have to set up the back end a bit. So import this from Chef WebSocket and import this one from WebSocket channel. What else? Then log. And next stuff that is missing is the router handler that's been needed, and I will copy that over. There you go. So we got our router handler and some other stuff right in here. And the router handler is missing some functions that we're going to implement later on, but for now we could just go ahead and leave this, and tomorrow we could just go ahead and continue and finish up some important part of the code base. Yeah, so guys, let me know what you guys think for what we have done so far, creating a server from scratch in Flutter, and then also going towards to create a new server using Chef and some also WebSockets, HTTP server, and with WebSocket communication inside it. So although we didn't finish it up today, but we'll be completing it by tomorrow. We'll be doing more by tomorrow. A whole lot of stuff will be done tomorrow, so don't miss it, guys. See you guys tomorrow. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, guys, please subscribe. Let's get our community up and going. Subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, try to see if anybody wants to join and watch, so let me know. Yeah, and that kind of brings today's streaming to conclusion. And like I said, thank you guys for joining. If you want some help concerning your code or stuff like that, you can hit me up on my social medias, Instagram, Instagram, LinkedIn, and also Twitter. You can just hit me up on these 3 places. I'll just respond to you. And yeah, I think that's it, guys. Have a nice day, everyone. Thank you for joining.